Welcome to the PACT Live Podcast POV special, where I talk to PACT guests that will share their opinions and views on their favorite sports teams. And so, without further ado, let's get this special underway. Enjoy. All right, this is a new segment I'm doing for my podcast. It's called POV PACT Opinions and Views. And today I have Pierce Rogers with me today to discuss his team, the Seattle Seahawks. Pierce, how you doing today, man?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for having me, man. How are you?
I'm well. It was a wild night for me yesterday, but I'm good. To get
Yeah.
started, the Russell Wilson saga played out in the media throughout the off season. Is Russell Wilson your team's quarterback for the future, or is it still up in the air?
Um, well, personally, as a Seahawks fan, I hope he's in our future. But I mean, with him having the commands of trying to get an offensive line, and we haven't had an offensive line probably since our Super Bowl against the Patriots.
Mhm.
So I feel like him kind of saying to his agent, "Hey, if y'all aren't gonna do this, trade me." He's like, "I want to be here, but y'all need to do this for me to keep me." So personally, I think with our offseason moves, with the Gabe Jackson trade, and picking up a few linemen this offseason, hopefully he is part of our future.
I got you. And see, you guys have a new offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron. He was the passing game coordinator from the Rams last season. What are your expectations for him in his first season as offensive coordinator with you guys?
Well, I think honestly that was probably my favorite move of the offseason, simply because he's more like a West Coast offense kind of guy, deep passes, and he was a smart guy with the Rams. And the Rams, well, obviously being a Seahawks fan, they give us problems on offense and defense every year.
Right.
So I think that was a solid move for us.
All right, I got you. And what are your expectations for him and Russell Wilson? Do you think they can gel well, similar to better than Darren Bevel those days with Seattle?
Yeah. I think they will gel well, honestly, because I mean, I'm not knocking Jared Goff as a quarterback, but Russell Wilson is in a different bracket of quarterback versus Jared Goff, and Jared Goff was successful in that system.
Right.
I think they'll do a lot better. I don't think that teams will figure us out in 6 weeks like they did last year.
Got you. And you talked about your free agency acquisition you guys made. You also acquired Gerald Everett, former Ram, Akilla Weatherspoon, Alden Smith, and you, of course, Gabe Jackson. You also retained Chris Carson, Carlos Dunlap, Demarius Randall. But you also lost Shaquille Griffin, Carlos Hyde, and Quentin Dunbar. Which move did you like to see us making acquiring a player, acquiring a player, and which move didn't you like them losing a player?
Well, I think Gabe Jackson was probably our biggest pickup because that was our biggest concern in the offseason. But I kind of figured Carlos Hyde was going to end up leaving based on our running back situation, with us having DJ Dallas from Miami
Mm,
as a backup. And I think who else left? Oh yeah, Griffin.
yeah.
I wasn't too happy about that one because we didn't trade for any corners. We haven't. I mean, we signed corners, but they're not the same caliber of player as him. So
Right.
I don't know really what our approach is going to be for the cornerback position, losing two corners actually.
All right. So draft is coming up. You guys have no first round draft picks due to the Jamal Adams blockbuster trade last season. A year later, having Jamal Adams on the team, would you have pulled the trigger on that Adams trade, or would you have kept your draft capital?
Personally, the way our GM and coaches draft first round picks have been awful the past 3 years. So I'm kind of excited about the trade. And I wouldn't say excited about not having that pick, but having Jamal Adams versus picking somebody again that we haven't utilized.
Right.
I think that trade panned out well for us.
Right. And you have no first round picks for this year and next year. You also, but you have a second round pick, a fourth round pick, and a seventh round pick. And you, of course, throughout Seattle's history, you guys drafted guys well: Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Russell Wilson, of course. What are your expectations for the Seahawks in the NFL draft? What do they need?
Well, I think our offensive line position is fixed. I would like us to try to get a corner in the draft. And I know with us being in the second round, there aren't obviously, the Patrick Surtains, what's his name? Horn from South
J.C.
Carolina.
Horn, yep.
Yeah. Guys like that won't be available, but I've looked at guys like Kelvin Johnson. He's a cornerback from Kentucky. Um, Asante Samuel Jr. might fall in our hands if we trade up. So I'd like to see us get some guys like that if we can, or draft a third receiver since we let David Moore go.
That's facts. Do you think they'll make a potential trade up for the first round to get a receiver?
Nah, they won't, because I feel like we kind of relied on Freddie Swain at the end of the season to be our slot, with Lockett and Metcalf being our outside guys. So
I got you. So after the drafting happened, of course, but so far, what grade would you give the Seahawks offseason?
That's tough. I want to say a B.
Okay.
Simply because we made some key acquisitions, adding to our defensive line, getting Dunlap back, but at the same time, we didn't pick up a corner, which was one of our primary concerns last season. We were always getting burned, and it's like,
Right.
if Jamal Adams is blitzing, our corners got to lock down, and they didn't do that last year. So with letting our two best corners walk, I think that's where I stick at the B.
I got you. And of course, your Seattle Seahawks plays in the toughest division in football, NFC West.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for the Seahawks this season? Will they make the postseason?
I think we will make the postseason, but we will be a wild card team.
Gotcha.
I do think the Rams will probably win the division this year.
Okay.
And I think, I personally think if the 49ers are completely healthy and they fix their quarterback situation, they'll probably make it too.
Right.
But I mean, it's going to be tough because I think the Cardinals have a solid roster too, with them adding J.J. Watt, but they still are just okay on offense.
Yeah,
so,
my bad.
Go ahead.
Oh, my last question for you is: we know that the Seahawks in the previous postseason, their playoff games, they hit a wall in the postseason. Either they can't get over a division rival, or they make it to the divisional round and lose, i.e., the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. What will it take for the Seahawks to get over that wall?
Well, that wall has been different the past 2 seasons. The wall 2 seasons ago for us was offense. Well, no, it was defense. This past season, it was offense in the playoffs. Couldn't get anything going. So I think for us to get over the wall, we've got to be consistent on offense. Okay. I know the whole let Russ cook thing was going last year. Didn't last long because all we did, power run, deep pass. That's predictable. So I think we've got to be more versatile on offense and be more consistent. And defense, with us having Jamal Adams now, I see us having to get some better pass coverage. So I think we're definitely going to have to adjust some things in our secondary for the way we play.
All right, got you. And that is it. I want to say thank you, Pierce, for coming on, spreading some knowledge to me about your Seahawks. I'm a big Saints fan. I don't keep up with your day-to-day activities, and appreciate it, man. Be safe.
All right, thank you for having me, man.
No problem. Thank you.